What's going on YouTube? Welcome to another video where we're analyzing world record runs in Call of Duty Zombies. If you've been paying attention so far, we've done Nacht, we've done Verrückt, we've done Shino Numa, and now we're continuing down the line onto Riese. We'll be looking at the various runs and strategies to see what some of the best zombie players in the world are doing to achieve new heights and new world records. We'll maybe even pick up some insights and tips to make ourselves better zombie players and perhaps learn about ourselves and the true meaning of friendship along the way, or some sappy shit like that. Before we get into it, I just want to quickly announce that I'm running a fire sale on my website right now. There's a lot of people new to the channel that might not have seen this before, but I've got this Zombie Chronicles inspired poster pack that I'm selling. You can check them out. A link is in the description. This is a fire sale. I'm literally on my last 8 poster packs and I'm just trying to get rid of them. So once they're gone, they're gone. So you can check that out. A link is in the description. I'd recommend if you're interested in them getting on a jump on them because there's literally like 8 left. But that's about it. Let's jump into today's video. So we're gonna kick this off with a type of record we really haven't done yet on the channel, which is a co-op record. And this is the co-op record set by Eggman 115 and Zombo, where they were able to reach round 154 on Riese. So congrats to them for beating what was the previous record of 151. This game, in fact, actually took them about 65 hours to complete, and it's really impressive, especially when you consider that they were able to go this long in co-op. You have to kill a hell of a lot more zombies. So the strategy they're basically running is a route, and they started in the spawn room, and what they're doing here is trying to get all the spawns to stick to this side. They're waiting a couple minutes, kind of watching the shadows, waiting to see where the zombies are, and then once they know that a good number of them have spawned in, they run over into this room right here, and they pull the trap. They don't go in at the same time. Zomba kind of hangs back a little bit, and this continues to pull the spawns onto this side, and now they can just kind of chill in this room while zombies flood into this room right here. And then you're going to get some zombies spawning into this room. You're of course going to get some dogs popping in, but all you really need to do is just take care of them and wait for this trap to wrap up. And in the meantime, I mean, they're killing a bunch of zombies, at least more than 24. So the trap's going to turn off, and now they got to make a break out of here. This is a difficult spot to run. Eggman is just barely able to survive. An excellent escape right there, and now they're going to make a break over to the trench gun room. And they are right now carrying crossbows and Bowie knives, and this is what's allowing them to really survive. They're keeping that as kind of like get out of jail free cards. Bowie knives, or not Bowie knives, ballistic knives to pick each other up, and crossbows to act as monkey bombs, and that is also what allowed them to get out of that tricky situation they got to earlier. So they're running this circle here where they pull that trap by the trench gun. They come up here, kind of let the zombies spawn in. Also, part of what they're doing is waiting for that trap to die down or recharge, and once it does, they can jump down. Eggman's going to take the lead, Zomba's going to take the zombies, and then eventually they're going to pull the trap. Notice that they're staggering their runs, and what this allows us to do is have one person hold the horde instead of both of them holding the horde. If they're both holding the horde, then you can run into a tricky situation where you might cut each other off, or you might just create a bit of randomness. You want to kind of avoid randomness. So if you have one person kind of taking the lead and controlling the zombies, the situation is much more controlled. Whereas if you have the zombies and you force them to pick between you or your teammate, well, then things just might get unpredictable and out of hand. This kind of thing requires a lot of coordination, where somebody maybe takes the lead and the other person worries about the train, and rinse and repeat. They're just going to keep running this strategy where they run this route around the map. One person will take the lead, the other person will carry the horde, and they'll work their way through. And once they know they're both clear, they'll pull the trap. So you're probably wondering, well, how does this world record run end? And unfortunately, it kind of ends just with a recovery that went wrong. So you have Eggman taking the lead while Zomba follows behind. He's holding back a little bit, and unfortunately, you'll see Zomba's going to go down here in a minute, and Eggman's going to try to make a recovery, but it just doesn't quite work out. Again, like I said, a lot of these co-op runs require coordination, and it just seems like in this moment they had a lapse of judgment. The coordination fell apart, and Eggman tries to make the recovery, but it just doesn't go as planned. He's going to throw a monkey bomb here, but he's already starting to take some hits. The zombies are flooding in. He is going to actually be able to pull off the revive thanks to the ballistic knife, which I think is kind of an essential weapon to have when you're doing a co-op run so that you can easily revive your teammates. But here, it just doesn't work out. There's too many zombies that get in the way, and they're able to survive in 65 hours, make it to round 154, which is the new co-op record. It's unfortunate the game ended like this, but well done to you guys. You did a hell of a job. So let's now move on from co-op and instead take a look at some of the solo records on Riese. And we'll start off with Krups's round 148 run on Riese, in which he was able to make it to that round in 36 hours before the game reset. And the interesting thing about Riese on World at War is that it's the first zombies map and also the only World at War zombies map in which there are not 24 zombies per round. This is the reason why when you look at some of the World at War records, you'll see that most maps are in the thousands, while Riese is only in the hundreds, which, if I'm being honest, makes for disappointing thumbnails. The strategy he's doing is a route, and it's one in which he's alternating traps. So he usually starts off here by double tap. He's carrying with him a trench gun that he basically is carrying for security. It's what allows him to take care of the dogs, because while the zombies' health continues to rise, the dogs' health maxes out at 150, so you can just quickly take them out with a trench gun. He'll use this trap here by the Thompson to kill the zombies, and then go run back up by double tap, board up all the windows, and try to hang out there for as long as he can. His goal is to try to maintain kind of relative safety up here, wait out and wait for some of the traps to reset so that he can continuously cycle through them. If he's not using the trap by the Thompson room, then what he does is carry all the zombies over by the trench gun, and he'll use that trap over there. And what that will also allow him to do is reset trench gun ammo so that he can continue to kill any dogs that get in his way. One of the things you really got to be careful for in this map is that a dog gets in your way and then blocks you from being able to, say, run up a staircase. For example, this spiral staircase right here is always a tight one, so you want that trench gun there just as a get out of jail free card just in case. But most of the time it doesn't happen, so it's not too bad. He'll just keep running these two routes over here, pulling the traps when he can, and that's how Krups was able to make it to round 148. If we move on over to Black Ops, the highest round that anybody has ever achieved on Riese is round 246, and this was performed by Fleur. The highest round, at least for Black Ops, I should say. In Black Ops 3, people have been able to make it to 255. We'll touch on that in a minute. But for strategy, again, he's running a route. And if you're starting to notice a pattern, then you're paying attention. Pretty much the best way, it seems, to consistently get to high rounds of this map is to run routes. I mean, you can train. You'll see people train in Black Ops 3. But it's not as safe. It's probably not as efficient. And when you're manipulating traps as well as spawns, you can kill the zombies really quickly. And what he does is basically start off his route in the Thompson room. He'll pull the trap if he can, and then he'll make his way over to the trench gun and pull the trap from there. Then he's going to work his way over to double tap and kind of hang out there for a little bit. And then he's going to eventually work his way down and pull the trap over by the original mystery box spawn. He might hang out there for a few minutes, or if not a few minutes, but a few seconds, wait for the zombies to get killed, and then work his way back over to the Thompson room, and he'll just keep running this same loop over and over and over. It's usually about a 30-45 second loop, something like that. On insta-kill rounds is when things get a little bit more free form. What he's basically doing is just camping out in the Thompson room. You'll see that he kind of keeps his back over by where Mule Kick is, and then also with the window to his left, watching the window, killing the dogs around him and anything in front of him. This isn't really an amazing place to camp. Like, it's kind of chaotic, but it's kind of one of the few places you can camp because you have a weapon that you can easily purchase. You also have enough open space that you can train if things get hectic for a second. Even though, like, the catwalk is one of the most famous places to camp, you wouldn't want to camp there on an insta-kill round because the zombies are just going to keep coming and coming and coming, and while you can easily mow them down, you'll also very easily and quickly run out of ammo, and you always want a get out of jail free card, and there just isn't that on the catwalk. So he's camping in the Thompson room. It's open enough that you can camp, if you can train if you need to. You have ammo you can always buy, and you can position yourself with the window to your left, the door to in front of you, and then kind of like Mule Kick behind you, and then you're pretty much safe. You don't need to worry about too much. That's how he was able to achieve what is the highest round on Riese, at least outside of Black Ops 3, which is 246. The last records we'll touch on are the Black Ops 3 records, and here's the deal with Black Ops 3. It's a lot easier to reach high rounds because you have Gobblegums and Double Pack-a-Punch, but you have a round limit of 255. So when you go and look up the records on the Giant, you'll see people have reached round 255 9 times. So this map kind of becomes less about reaching the highest round possible and more about getting the 255 as fast as possible. It's almost in a way like a speed run. which kind of changes the nature of world record high round runs. So people are trying to max out on 255, basically using the same strategy. They're just training in the spawn. And I know a lot of people like to give high round records in Black Ops 3 a bad rep because it's easy when you have gobble gums and double pack-a-punch, but let me just set the record straight and say that this spawn is a very difficult place to train. You have zombies coming from every direction, and I bet most people watching this video would not be able to consistently train here for a couple hundred rounds. I mean, shout out to the 9 people who were able to keep up this difficult train all the way to 255. It's a lot more impressive than I think people think. I mean, imagine training, say, with the landers in Ascension or in the Biodome on Moon. It's wide open. You have space for days. You don't have that much space in the spawns. If you make a bad decision, you can easily trap yourself in a corner. You have zombies coming in front of you. You have zombies climbing over the fence to kill you. The spawn, in spite of the fact that you have double pack-a-punch and gobble gums, is still a quite difficult place to consistently train in for 250 rounds. So shout out to all those who are able to pull it off. It's quite a hectic run, but it's still impressive, I gotta say. So those are some of the world records on Riese. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of some of these records and strategies. It's kind of interesting how Riese seems to solely be dedicated to routes. You can run trains on Riese, but it seems like the community has come to the consensus that it's not the most efficient way to do it unless you're playing Black Ops 3. Again, if you want to check out those posters that I'm selling, I'm trying to get rid of the last few that I have, so a quick fire sale, you can check that out, a link in the description. I'm gonna go, have a wonderful day, and bye.